Okay, Mitch.
Okay, we're ready to rock and roll. I already have a question, yes?
Bill Nice, we're going through withdrawal at my house. They cut our cable yesterday, so I don't have internet or anything else.
Are you on Comcast?
Yes. They're coming at 1 o'clock.
No, you should be able to get internet because you're on Comcast. You should be able to jump onto somebody else's.
Well, what's interesting is on my iPad and my iPhone, which are both AT&T, I could not get anything on the internet. And I don't understand that because we should be able to.
Well, could be just a weak signal where you're at. Are you seeing the LTE sign at the top?
3 bars.
3 bars.
Maybe his settings are not set up.
Could be the settings are not right. I'd stop at AT&T. There's one right up at next to the new Publix.
Turn off Wi-Fi, force it to go to LTE.
What's that?
If you turn off Wi-Fi, it forces it to get the...
Yeah, you could try turning off Wi-Fi. It might be trying to connect to something that's not there. That'd be a good idea.
You guys have to either roaming turned on?
Huh?
You guys have to either roaming turned on?
I don't know if you do or not. I don't think you do, but I check with AT&T on that. I know Bob had some questions, and I want to address those in a few minutes, but that George, in his all his wisdom, emailed me about an hour before the meeting and said, here's something you ought to go over.
Well, I thought you knew everything, so.
Yeah, I don't know everything. Anyhow, my name is Mitch Bryars, and I usually do these meetings on iPhone, iPad, and iOS. I am working on the new iPad Pro today. It's the new 9.7-inch Pro. I've had it for a week or two, and I like it. I don't notice too much difference other than being able to use the pencil, which I haven't used a lot yet. And it does seem to be faster. I particularly notice that when it's updating apps. I sort of question, well, why would that be faster? Because that's a function of, I would think, of my internet speed in my home. But for some reason, it just seems like they really load really quickly on this device. It's really nice. It's a great upgrade. I don't know if it's a great upgrade if you already have an iPad 2, but if unless you're a fanatic like me and have to get the latest and greatest thing. But I really do like it, and the reviews have been outstanding. It does everything that the 12-inch one does, except it has 2 gigabytes of memory and the 12 has 4. That was a little disappointing, but I don't think that's going to affect me. Anyhow, that's what we'll be working on today. And the item that I'm hoping to show a video on is the 3D Touch on the iPhone 6S series. It's a pretty neat new technology that they incorporated in the 6S phones. Having said that, I rarely use it, and I think I rarely use it just because I forget it's there. And watching the video on it reminded me of how useful it could be, so I'll probably start to try and use it a little more often. So I'll see if this will play. Yes?
Kathy Romano.
Yes.
I am very desperate in the process of going from my iPhone 5
Yes?
and going to a 6S Plus.
Right.
And I was told that the only way, before I do that the only thing I can do to back the 5 up is by using iCloud or iTunes. Is that correct? Is that the only way?
Those are the only 2 ways.
That's the only way you can do that. And
That's
that will include the apps on my 5?
Yes, it will.
It will.
Do you have the watch?
No, I don't have a
Okay, you
watch.
don't have to
No,
worry about
I
it. So
just have it.
I back up, that's a good question. Whenever I'm doing a phone or recently an iPad update, it's backed up to the cloud every night automatically.
Yeah.
But I also back it up to my computer, which is a manual deal. And I do that and make a couple backups right before I'm going to convert. Because usually when I convert, I hook it to my computer and do it on the computer. Particularly if you have a watch, you will lose your data for the day if you do not, and maybe your historic data, and they specifically tell you this in sort of the fine print somewhere, if you don't do the restore from a backup on your computer. So that's why I asked if you had the watch. Yes.
I think it's important to do a backup to your computer because the iCloud backup does not bring in everything that's in your phone or in your iPad. It only brings in some of the information.
Okay.
So the settings and things like that may not come across. So if you have the ability, use iTunes and back it up to your computer.
Okay, I also have a carry-away backup with an HD thing, like if there's a hurricane coming, I can take that with me instead of the whole computer. And I didn't know if I could back up my 5 onto that.
I don't know.
It didn't-
You have to be able to pull up iTunes on whatever device
I see,
you're
yeah.
doing.
And the only thing with iCloud is I was worried about having like my contacts, really private stuff, ending up on iCloud that somebody could get hold of. And that makes me very nervous.
Mine are out there and I'm not nervous anymore. So.
Bank information, things like that?
Well, my bank information, I don't know that is out there, but my contacts are out there. My notes are out there and so on. It's pretty well encrypted by Apple, and that's not to say that somebody couldn't get into anything these days, but they do a pretty good job. And I know if you're using 1Password, which I use for my passwords, that's encrypted, and then when you back it up to the cloud or the Dropbox, it's encrypted again, so it's double encrypted. So I feel pretty safe with those, and a lot of people are really spooky. I mean, I work at Merrill Lynch. I rarely work now. I'm just on a retainer for the next 2 or 3 years, but I've worked with investors and a large clientele for years. And we have a couple people in our client base who are absolutely don't want anything online. Because we'll talk to them about it, it's actually safer to get your statements online than it is to get them in the mail. Somebody goes out in your mailbox and can grab that stuff. But this particular individual I'm thinking of, and she's just about 59 or so, we've been trying to get her to do online stuff for the last 4 or 5 years, and she doesn't want anything online. And we have another very elderly gentleman who is the same way.
The elderly gentleman, Jared?
But it's not Jerry, it's not Jerry. And this fellow is a little bit more elderly than Jerry. Jerry's a youngster. But that is a concern of a lot of people. It's just that I've been doing it so long that I have everything online. I do take some precautions and do some things that I won't go into, but I mean, I would say probably 95% of my bills are paid automatically online, and I monitor that pretty closely. So all my banking is done online. Never had an issue. I've had issues with credit cards where somebody's got a credit card. As long as you contact the credit card company within, I think it's 60 days, but I think that it used to be 90 days. I know they're reducing that period, so you have to catch it. Because if you wait 6 months, they're no longer responsible. So it's important to look at that stuff. One thing that they won't cover is a debit card, so you got to be careful with using debit cards in terms of credit cards. It's a different protection system.
Thank you.
Yes.
John Leslie here, and I'm very desperate about my iPhone 6s. Lately I'm getting more unwanted phone calls, and I know there is at settings, there is where you can block it.
Yes.
But how do I get it from the phone app to that I can actually buy?
I will show you that.
Thank you.
Remind me if I don't. Let me show this video real quick, hopefully this will play. Okay.
Like here, today guys, in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the all-new feature in the iPhone 6s known as 3D Touch. It's interesting, a lot of people will think that 3D Touch was just a gimmick that Apple added to the iPhone 6s so people would buy it, but it's actually not. As a matter of fact, I'm finding myself to use this feature so much that I'm so happy Apple put it in. And just as a demonstration here, you can see some of the things that 3D Touch does for you. In this video, though, we're going to get a little more in-depth and check it out. So it really begins on the lock screen. As a matter of fact, Apple went ahead and added 9 different motion wallpapers, and you can pick from one of them in settings, and using 3D Touch, you can literally activate them on the lock screen. It's pretty cool. This smoke one right here is one of my favorites. I just wish there was kind of a bigger variety that Apple added. You can see that there's a whole new type of way through multitasking, just simply by pressing down on the left side of the screen. And if you swipe in from the left side of the screen, when pressing, it actually takes you in between apps. And you can see I could do it a couple times here, swipe between my apps, and I think that's really why Apple made it that way in iOS 9. One of the most fun features of 3D Touch is peek and pop. And simply with a medium press, just gently pressing on an email or messenger link will quickly reveal it, and if you hold all the way down, firmly down, it'll bring it out all the way. Here's another great example of peek and pop. It works with photos or any form of tappable link that includes times or dates or website links. It works with everything. This feature was in the original.
Guys, the speed here.
Can you turn it down just a bit?
I don't know how to turn it down.
No, it's just, on the actual YouTube video, there's a sound.
That's not showing on my, that's not showing here. Hold on a minute.
Well, the volume on the computer.
First iOS 9 beta, but then was pulled, and this actually occurred.
He's got control of the YouTube video if he can.
I can't control, I don't see it here, George. I know it's usually there, but I don't see it.
We can just,
Turn the volume down. What about the volume on the computer, Mitch?
I tried that.
no, that doesn't work.
Want me to go turn it down in
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Thanks, Carl.
So, this guy went a little faster, so when I was watching it at home, it wasn't quite as annoying as this. But basically, you can only do this on a 6S or 6S Plus phone. But, and I'll demonstrate it on my phone. I'll plug in my phone, or get my phone on in a little bit. But basically, you touch it, and you don't touch it and hold it, because if you touch it and hold it down, it'll start shaking, and that's how you delete apps or move them around. But if you do a hard touch, and it just pops up, a menu will pop up of different things. And it's sort of handy. But like I said, I just haven't gotten in the habit of using it. And he will show some more of that. Okay, so.
Sir, on the 6S and 6S Plus, you can use to navigate through text simply by force touching on the actual keyboard. You can move the cursor around. This I can see myself using so much just to navigate through text. So much more easier, much more fluid way. I really do like this and can't wait to use it more. While you're taking pictures in the camera app, you can actually click the photo reel or just gently press it in, and you can actually scan through the most recent photos that you took and simply swipe down to get right back to you take.
I don't know why this is not. It's not, try it again this way. Okay.
What's going on YouTube? It's Mike here. Today guys, in this video, we're going to...
That's still too loud.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll start Mike over again because it's not wanting to.
What are you trying to do, Mitch?
Well, I tried to go ahead and it won't go ahead. It just freezes the screen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Mike here. Today guys, in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the all-new feature in the iPhone 6s known as 3D Touch. It's interesting, a lot of people will think that 3D Touch was just a gimmick that Apple added to the iPhone 6s so people would buy it, but it's actually not. As a matter of fact, I'm finding myself to use this feature so much that I'm so happy Apple put it in. And just as a demonstration here, you can see some of the things that 3D Touch does for you. In this video, though, we're going to get a little more in-depth and check it out.
Is it too fast for everybody?
As a matter of fact, Apple
I don't know
has
that I
added
can
9
slow it
different
down.
motion
You might want to
pictures.
just
You
describe
can
it.
one of the settings, and using 3D Touch, you can literally activate them on the lock screen. It's pretty cool. There's smoke one right here.
I have to play a little bit of this and
And
then I'll
Switch
look
was
at
kind of a bigger variety than Apple added. You can see that there's a whole new type of way through multitasking, just simply by pressing down on the left side of the screen. And if you swipe in from the left side of the screen, when pressing, it actually takes you in between apps. You can see I could do it a couple times here, swipe between my apps, and I think that's really why Apple made it that way in iOS 9. One of the most fun features of 3D Touch is peek and pop, and simply with a medium press, just gently pressing on an email or a message or link will quickly reveal it, and if you hold all the way down, firmly down, it'll bring it out all the way. Here's another great example of peek and pop. It works with photos or any form of tappable link that includes times or dates or website links. It works with everything. This feature was in the original first iOS 9 beta, but then was pulled, and it's actually a cursor on the 6S and 6S Plus that you can use to navigate through text simply by force touching on the actual keyboard. You can move the cursor around. This I can see myself using so much just to navigate through text, so much more easier, much more fluid way. I really do like this and can't wait to use it more. While you're taking pictures in the camera app, you can actually click the photo reel or just gently press it in, and you can actually scan through the most recent photos that you took and simply swipe down to get right back to you taking your pictures. And that's all without actually having to go into your camera roll. It just makes it a little more convenient. Now, probably the most acclaimed part of 3D Touch is Quick Actions, which allows you to shortcut applications, let's say for Instagram, or post a picture section of the app. Or you can even go to something like music, search with music. Go into camera, and you can pick quickly to take a selfie or a video. You can back out and go to something like clock, and you can specifically pick an alarm or stopwatch timer. It just about works across every Apple app that Apple offers, not every single one though, and it works with very few third-party apps at this time. But for now, it's something cool to play around with, and I can't wait to see it integrated into third-party apps in the future. Speaking of third-party apps, I gotta give credit to some developers who already went ahead and enabled their apps for 3D Touch, such as Instagram, which as you can see here, has really cool peek and pop functions I love all across Instagram. You can go between pictures to users to comments. I mean, literally, you can peek and pop with anything. By holding down Shazam, it actually allows you to launch the Shazam Now function, and by holding down Twitter, you get the new tweet function. So this is just prime examples of what we can see, but as you can see, not a lot of apps have it yet, so we're going to have to wait a while for them to adapt. But these major app companies, as well as Apple, are setting some great examples of what developers can do with 3D Touch, and they should definitely take action soon. Well guys, that just about does it for this kind of more in-depth look at Apple's new 3D Touch feature on the iPhone 6.
Okay, so let me get to my phone and I'll see if I can demo some of this.
Is there a setting where you turn it on and off?
I don't believe that there is.
Feature on the iPhone 6s. If you guys like this video, please be sure to leave some comments below on your thoughts. Of course, rate this video.
Good. We'll see you some other time. Okay. So, this is my phone, and so I'm going to take, and I'm just going to hold my finger. If I hold my finger down too long, I'm going to go to notes. So if I hold my finger down too long, if I hold it down like that, this is what comes up, and this is the shortcut he's talking about. So if you hold it down, but if I hold it down too long, well, let me just see. You can get the shape now. Yeah. If I do a light touch, you just hold it. That's the old way of moving things around and deleting apps. And you get out of that by hitting the home button. But if you hold it down until you just you actually hear a click there. You feel a click on the phone. And so in the case of notes, this pops up and says you want to do a new note, new photo, new sketch. So those would be the shortcuts for notes. If you go to calendar, this calendar app happens to have the feature built in. It's a third-party app. And so it says new event, new reminder, search would be the shortcuts. If you go to reminders, it's got new reminder, new in Costco, new in shopping list, and so on. Okay, so then if you go to photos, I'm going to go to these couple right here. So if I go to the camera, and this is where he was saying, you know, it's an easy way to just, okay, I want to take a selfie, I want to take a video, I want to do a slow motion video, I want to take a picture. It's a real quick way to get to it. And like I say, it's something that I am not really taking advantage of. I think it's a case of getting used to just doing it. And I really haven't, I played with it a couple times and then I just easily forgot about it. It's what happens as you get older, I guess. So if I go to my photos, do the same thing, recent, favorite, 1 year ago, search. If I go to something like CNBC and hit on that one, nothing happens because they haven't filled anything in yet. So that's where he was saying in the video, I hope more and more third-party apps have this. If we go to Seeking Alpha, same thing. Go to Stock Tracker, same thing. Go to the watch activity, same thing. That's sort of surprising. Go to the watch, it does have Air or Apple Watch. Go to either one of those. If we go to the Weather Channel, it does have some things.
You want to show them where the setting is? I found the directions.
Yeah, where is the setting?
Open settings,
Yeah,
tap on general,
yeah.
tap on accessibility,
Oh, yeah, that's where it is.
tap on 3D touch.
Yeah, 3D touch. There it is, 3D touch. Now, it's not on. Is it on your Pro?
I'm going to go try to find it.
I don't think it is. See if it is. No, see if it's on your,
Oop. It's only on the phone?
I think it's only on the phone.
All right, it'll take me a few minutes.
Okay. He talked about this other one, Mike, which is, talked about going through different things over here, but I am not seeing that. But some of these will work, like the movie one won't work.
Maps.
Huh?
What about maps?
Maps will, might, let's just see. Maps, yes. Okay. I know that Twitter works. Instagram works. Walgreens works. So a lot more of these things are working. Feedly works.
It's not on the iPad.
No, it's only a function of the phone. So that's a little on 3D touch. Any questions on that? You got to sort of play with it. And what I would suggest you do, one second. What I'd suggest you do is search, which is what I did, because I needed a refresher on this. Search Google for iPhone 3D touch, and then at the top hit videos, and then you can watch some videos on YouTube. I'm sort of a visual person, so it helps me to go through videos and see what people are doing. And if you're doing it on an iPad, you can sort of stop it when they show you something and then go to your phone and sort of play with it and say, oh yeah, now I see how to do that. So, yes, the question in the back.
You didn't have iTouch turned on in your preferences. So what were you using? Were you accessing iTouch on this last demo?
I had it turned on.
Okay. And what
I think it's on, I think on the phone, it's on by default when you get the phone, but
Yeah.
yes. Okay.
What, how do you activate those apps when you're not using 3D? I mean, what's the difference between 3D Touch and?
Well, okay, so let's go to the camera, okay? So if I do the 3D touch, this comes up and it just creates a shortcut for me to go in and I can take a picture and it just comes up and it's ready to take a picture, okay? So if I don't do 3D touch, then what I have to do is I have to open the app. And the default comes to take a picture, but if what I really wanted to do was take a video or take a selfie, then I would just hit here and it would just come up as a selfie. That's nice looking on it, take that one. Okay, there you go.
Send
Okay.
that home and see what you get.
There it is. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to delete that. I actually took one here, so I'll delete that one. Don't need those nice looking lights. Now, the other thing that he was showing is like if you go into your photos, and we're going to do some kitchen stuff at our house, and so I took I went to Pinterest, is it? Yeah. I didn't even think of going there. I mean, because the only time I've ever gone to Pinterest is to get stuff on like nature, like scenes from the Rocky Mountains, scenes from just around the globe, different vacation sites, and I'm in looking at backsplashes for kitchen stuff with my wife, and they had about 10,000 of them to choose from in this store, and the gal said, you know, you really need to go to Pinterest and type in kitchens, and she said, you'll find all kinds of stuff, which we did, and then so what I did is I saved a picture of the ones that had features that we wanted to just consider. So on the 3D touch, when you got your photos, to take a quick look at it, you just hold it down. See how that popped up? Now, if you want it to stay up, you hold it down and you hold it down harder, and then it'll stay up. Okay, so that's what he was talking about there. Now, if you go to mail, it's the same thing. So if I go to mail and I want to go, let's say, to this one, it'll show me. Yeah, it'll show that real quick spotlight of it. And if I want to see it, then I just hold it down harder. Okay, everybody get that?
Yes.
Okay. So that's a little on 3D touch. Now, I want to get to Bob's in a minute. Yeah, John, you had a question on
the iPhone, how to block numbers, just to see.
Oh yeah, block numbers. So let's go to my phone, and let's just go to I want to go to recent calls. Here's one from California, and I don't know. Oh, I think that was Apple, but let's say I wanted to block that. So that phone call came in. So you can see that eye there. The eye. You hit on the eye. Okay, and then you come down all the way to the bottom, okay, and you hit block this call.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't know how to switch. When I saw the name, I pushed it and it was making.
Yeah, well, when
return
you,
call.
yeah, you have to push the eye, and when you push the eye, this is what will happen,
Okay.
and you won't see it. It's all the way at the bottom,
Thank you very much.
okay? So if you got somebody that you don't want to hear from again, like here's George, you see, you got to go all the way to the bottom.
No, it's
And
car
then-
salesman.
And then hit, huh?
Car salesman.
Well, he's like a car salesman. He's good. I'm good. He's gone, so I can talk even more about it. But it's all, just remember, it's all the way at the bottom. Now, the other thing about that is if you go to your contacts, and I think there is a place, let me go to recents. And go to, there's a place where you can see them all, and I think maybe is it at the end of your contacts? No? Anybody know where that is? There's a list of all of them.
Yeah, I'll
What's that?
you mean all the blocked calls?
Yes.
I'll find it.
Okay, great.
But I also wanted to tell you, do you know the app Houzz, Houzz?
House, no.
It's a wonderful app for landscaping, bathrooms, kitchens, plumbing fixtures, anything.
And it's called House?
Houzz, Houzz.
Okay, so House. Let's go to the App Store.
And I'll look at the blog
Let's
calls.
look that up. Houzz. House. Oh, yeah. Gotta have that one. It's free, too. Huh?
It's addicting.
Yeah, okay, I like the big.
Wait till you start buying some of their suggestions. Won't be free then.
Yeah. Okay, so that's coming down right now. So anybody wants that, go ahead. Yes.
Are you limited to how many you can block?
No. You block as many as you want. The problem, I get calls. Here's the way I feel on calls, and everybody has their own way of handling calls. But when I get a call that doesn't show me who it is, which means it's not in my contacts, and I have over 900 contacts. Sometimes I'll answer the call, but sometimes I won't answer the call, or it came through, I see it coming through and I'm busy. And the way I feel is if it's not important enough that they left a message, I just ignore it. Now, if it's a solicitation call, I automatically block it. But here's the thing. When you get a solicitation call, like from a political bank, they're calling from a different number every time.
My calls too, they come from different area codes.
Yeah.
Because the salesman has an iPhone or some kind of smart.
Yeah. Exactly right.
And
So,
sometimes it says private call.
and sometimes it says private caller. Now, if it says private caller, again, a lot of those things, I just don't answer because I figure if it's important enough, they're going to leave a message. Makes sense,
Yes.
okay? Okay, now, Bob Kennedy emailed me about a problem he was having, and let me just look at that email again real quick, Bob. And my one solution didn't work. Could I see what's happening there? Could you bring that up?
I cannot repeat it. It happened.
Oh, and it's gone.
No, it's not gone. It's just that message that I get
Uh-huh.
that might lead something. It's not coming back. I don't know how to get it back.
And is it keep on coming up though?
The badge keeps there. That thing, the problem is still there. It wants me to do something, and I can't find it.
And what does it say to do?
Next time when I get it, I'll
Take a
try to
screenshot.
Take a
Take a screenshot and send it to me.
That's
Okay.
what.
Okay.
Mitch,
Yes.
on your black calls, if you go to the settings phone, and then it'll give you blacked in there, and it'll show you all your black calls.
Ah, yeah, here, okay, so settings, and then we'll go to the phone, and then block calls. There they are. And you can see I have quite a few that I've added over time. Yes.
Do you know what the outgoing message is on the blocked call? Does it say?
It'll still, okay, it's a good point. When you block a call, it'll still say, like on me, hello, this is Mitch Bryars, hello, this is Mitch. Please leave a message and I'll give you a call back. You never get the message. They can leave a message 100 times, you'll never get the message. But they will get your, message. So that's sort of a little funky because you can't, there's not a way to go in and see if they've left you messages repeatedly, and if it's something that you block that maybe you shouldn't have. But I'm pretty sure that when I block them, I don't want to hear from them again.
Rich,
Yes,
how about doing this? I've had great success with this.
yes,
When they call them, the same ones are calling back, I
Yeah.
answer this, Collier County Sheriff's Office, may I help you? And I get one guy going, oh, and then another one just,
yeah,
never heard from him again.
yeah.
The sheriff said it's not against the law.
No, it's not against the law to do that. I got a friend and he'll, and somebody will call him like that, and it's like, oh, I'm so sorry, that was my brother, he died 3 years ago. Anyhow, there's all kinds of things that you'll hear people do in that regard. But it is, and it's becoming more and more of a problem on getting solicitation calls and unwanted calls, I'll say, on your cell phone.
Mitch, we were at Carrie's latest seminar, and she said they can pay and get different area codes. It doesn't mean that the area code is, in California. It could be in Mexico or anywhere, but
Oh,
they
yes.
can pay for that, so.
Yeah.
She
Well,
said-
you can go out, I can go out right now and get a phone number with a California area code on it. I mean, that's easy to do.
So she said, it doesn't, even if it's your home city or home state, she said.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything, but I'll get them from 239, and I'm, like I say, if I'm getting, like right now, if I got a call, I of course wouldn't answer it here. But if I got out of here and I saw a missed call, it was a 239, if they didn't leave a message, I usually won't hit the call back, because I just figure if it wasn't important enough for you to leave a message, then I'm not gonna bother them. Yes,
John, I got another very important thing to ask you.
yes,
It's, my wife has an iPad, I have an iPad, we each
Yes.
have an iPhone.
yes.
So the other day I noticed she has a whole bunch of apps she never uses, she hardly uses the unit. So I went into my iMac and I removed, and guess what? It removed it from my phone and my iPad.
Well, it's because, yeah, you deleted them.
my ID.
Yeah, you deleted them. Yeah, it's because you're sharing, you're purchasing everything on the same ID. It's probably, I wouldn't think it would remove it.
Well, I took it off the unit, it's still in the iMac, but it took it off the phone. Next time I looked, it wasn't there.
Oh, it took it off of your phone and her phone
Yes, and our iPads.
and the iPads.
Yeah. So should I have an ID for her?
That's because of the same Apple ID.
Yeah, the same Apple ID. Well, I use the same Apple ID to purchase everything, and when I purchase something, when I purchase something, it does not go to my wife's phone or her iPad. And when I delete something from my phone, it doesn't go. But we have different iCloud IDs.
Okay, I think that's what it is, we have the same ID.
If you're sharing the same iCloud ID, it's problematic because if you delete something, it'll delete it from her. A lot of people do that because I know I got a friend that does that, retired couples. I don't know if you guys can relate to retired people, but this husband and wife, they wanted to have the same calendar, so they have the same iCloud account. And the wife's calendar is, her items are in pink, and his are in blue, and anything they're doing together are in yellow. Makes me dizzy thinking about it. So he can pull up his calendar, and he can tell me, no, I can't do it then because my wife is doing this or whatever. And that's all fine and dandy, but personally, I don't want my wife on my calendar, and she doesn't want my stuff on her calendar. Same thing with contacts. If you share the same Apple ID for iCloud, your contacts are all the same. Emails all this you can have different email accounts, which will solve that problem. But so the way we do it is we have an Apple ID that we use for all our purchases, and then we each have our own separate iCloud ID for backing up and stuff, which eliminates the problem you're talking about. But if you want a shared calendar with color coding and all that stuff, won't work. The other way you can do it, it gets a little confusing, the other way you can do it is you can, instead, like we have 3 Apple IDs. One for my iCloud, one for her iCloud, one for all the purchases. You can do the same thing if you use if I use the purchased Apple ID for me and my iCloud, and then just had a separate iCloud ID for her, I could do the same thing. It's just that I set them up initially with that way, and so we just kept it that way. Okay. Yeah, I got to get to my friend here, Mr. Kennedy, because he emailed me and I keep on ignoring him. It's because I don't have an answer to his question, which is bad. So the one question we can't answer, and we're going to get to that. The other one that he had was he got the same iPad that I got. Incidentally, I got a nice case I like that holds the pencil on the back.
I got the Bridge keyboard.
Okay, you got the keyboard. The Apple one?
Bridge.
Bridge, and you like it?
Yeah, Bridge
Okay.
with a Y.
Bridge with a
It's
Y.
heavy, that's the only problem.
Heavy, okay. I did hear that on a few reviews of different keyboards. I'm not a keyboard person, so I haven't gone that route.
It's very easy to
Just pull it out, yeah. I said separate, but with no case. Yeah, okay. Okay, so he's saying you got the,
And then when it goes together, it's like,
yes, absolutely, that's nice. I've seen those. You got it off of Amazon or?
I bought the keyboard at Amazon,
Yeah.
but they have it at, I think they have it at the Apple Store as well.
Okay. I was there yesterday, and they were sort of low to no keyboards for the 9.7s. But there are not a lot of cases available. How many people have the new iPad Pro 9.7? Just you and I. Okay. Well, we'll have a little meeting after this. We won't tell them what's going on. No, I was just going to say, it's brand new. So one of the things with it is that if you get a case that when you close, it automatically turns the device off. The magnets on the new 9.7 are in different places. So it'll fit in my old iPad 2 case fine. But when I close the case, it stays on. I have to remember to turn it off. And so finally I got this one just a day or so ago. And like I say, the thing I like about it is it's got a holder for the pen. And I really did not want the keyboard for right now. Okay, so, oh yeah, so you wanted to know the procedure to go through if you're going to hand down the iPad to another person. So let me go over that. It's the same on the phone, so I'll do it on the phone.
We're not seeing it.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah, you're going to see it. Okay, now, so you go to settings, and the first thing you do is go, so here's the settings, and the first thing you do is you go down to iCloud, and you turn off Find My Phone or Find My iPad. Turn off that. Fact is, I turn off everything in the cloud. Once you've sunk all the, you've already set up your new one, I just turn off iCloud completely, but you definitely need to turn off Find My Phone, okay? And it'll ask you for your Apple ID for iCloud when you do that, okay? So you do that, and then the next thing you do is you come out to settings and you go to, just in my memory here, I think it's general, and you go all the way to the bottom, and you go to reset. Go to general,
Yeah.
all the way to the bottom, reset. And the one you want is erase all contents and settings, the second one. Okay?
Yeah.
When you do that, it'll say, are you sure you want to do this? And you say, yeah. I think it might ask you for your Apple ID one of your Apple ID codes again, or your code to get in your phone. And then it'll say, in fact, we can see what it'll say. Yeah, it's asking me for my passcode on the phone. So, and then it'll say, are you sure you really want to do this? And you say, yeah, and then it resets it. And when it's done, it'll come up and it'll say, it'll come up like a new device. It'll say, hello, in English, and it'll say, what's your Apple ID, and so on. And, but the important thing you have to do is turn off, you definitely have to turn off that Find My iPhone. Because that's what prevents somebody from just taking the phone and hacking it, because you can't turn it off without a passcode. I'll go to that again. Let's go to that. I want to just see that. It's been a while since I've done that too, so let me go to iCloud. So when I go down here to turn this off, Find My Phone, if I turn that off, see, it's asking me for my passcode. And it's asking me for my iCloud passcode. Okay? And that's part of the security system, so that if somebody steals my phone, they can't just erase all the data and start over. You can erase all the data and start over, but the first thing it's going to do, if I haven't turned this off, is it's going to say, what is your iCloud ID? Okay? So that's an important step. I'll cancel that, get out of here. So that answer that question? Okay, the other one, take a photo of it, send me an email. I'd be glad to help you with it. Okay. Yes?
Question, me and my wife used to share messages.
Yes.
All of a sudden, we've been to the Apple Store for other things, I don't know if they changed something or what, but.
You used to share them because you used the same,
No, we had different Apple IDs, we've always had different ones.
but you shared,
Shared messages.
oh, you shared messages through family sharing or something?
I'm not really sure what was happening, but it was working great.
I don't share my messages with my wife, so I can't tell you.
Well, wouldn't it be caused by the fact that he's got both phone numbers assigned to messages?
That could be. Do you have both phone numbers assigned to messages?
Or maybe
I'm not sure what you mean.
Let me go into that real quick. So if you go to settings, I'm sorry, go to, settings, and go back out here to messages, and here we go, send and receive. Now, see, I have one phone number on there, and that's mine. And those emails are basically my Apple email. But what you would, if both of your phone numbers are listed there, and I don't even know how you would add another phone number, but I guess you could, then I would assume that.
Will we both have to do that, or just one of us? It said something to her that I did something on the phone. I don't remember exactly what it said when she tried. So Ken did something to his phone, not allowing you to get it or something. I forget exactly what it said.
I'll have to see again.
You know, I'm just not sure, because I never share those
Mitch,
messages, yes.
Mitch, what I do, when we get reservations for anybody, I always put in an email address which we share. If anything comes to that email address, there's a rule that kicks it over into Barbara's account. She's always claiming the notification came into you and I didn't see it.
Okay,
But it's only that one email that we use for travel reservations or anything else we want to share between the two. So it's easily done with rules.
the other thing that I would tell you to do is to go to Google and just put in iPhone, how do I share iMessages? And you'll get probably more information than you want, but it'll tell you how to do it.
Okay.
Yes, Jim?
Mitch, can I go back to blocking a phone number? Because I think I misunderstand it. If you have listed a phone number as being blocked, does your phone still ring?
No,
It doesn't ring at all?
it doesn't ring for me.
It rings for them?
But if I block you, you'll call and it'll ring 4 times, and I won't even see it. And my message will come up and it'll say, hello, this is Mitch. Please leave a message and I'll give you a call back, whatever my message is. And you'll say, hey, Mitch, give me a call. And you'll hang up and you'll think, okay, I'm done. And I will never get that message. I will never know that you called me. You're blocked.
Well, that's what I wanted to do, but I got confused about whether it actually does that.
It does that, but there's no way, I mean, there's no way to like put on there, you're blocked from this number. There's no way to suppress your message or for the phone to just hang up. It just acts like it's coming right through to your voicemail, but it's not saving the voicemail. It's not doing any of that.
Okay.
Okay?
How can you get rid of it? How do you get it unblocked if you want?
Yeah, so if you go to settings and you go to the phone and you go to blocked, if I want to unblock one, I would go here and I would just say,
Go to edit.
Go to edit.
I'm sorry, I would go to here, edit, and I would just remove it from that list. Okay?
So it doesn't tell the person who calls?
Nope, it doesn't tell them. They can leave 100 messages, you'll never know, and they'll think, why isn't this person calling me back? Yes?
On that message thing, couldn't they set up group messages?
They could set up group messages, but I don't have anything set up on group messages, so I don't know too much about it, but that's what I'm thinking he'll find out when he Googles it. Okay, there was more questions? Yes? Yeah, Pam, could you speak up a little bit?
I remember reading about a week ago about the newest iPhone, which is, I think, 6SC, and it's just less expensive. It's like $600 maybe, and probably has some fewer features, I'm sure. But do you know anything about that?
Yeah, okay, the 6, it's SE, it's the old, it looks just like a 5S. It's just like the 6 Plus. Is that one of them?
Yeah.
Okay, could you hold that up for her?
It fits in my old 5 Plus case with that charges on it.
Yeah, it's just the old form factor, the smaller form factor with the 4-inch screen. It does everything that the 6S does. Isn't that correct? It has the same
99%.
99%, and it has the same processor and everything. It's just everything's on a smaller screen. It is about $100 cheaper, isn't it?
We paid $400 for it.
400. Okay.
But you traded in too.
But I traded in my old iPhone.
Okay.
And I got $100 for it.
Okay. I know it is a cheaper alternative, and particularly if you don't like the bigger phone. And I like the 6 is perfect The 6S is perfect for me. The Plus is too big. I tried one out for a week or so, and it was just too big for me to lug around. A lot of some guys like them. I know George has one, but I just found it too big to easily slip in my pocket and so on. A lot of women love them because they can throw it right in their purse.
We don't have really good internet in the
Yes.
condo we're staying in.
Yes.
And when we're using FaceTime on devices, it sometimes gets dropped.
Yes.
Since I've used the new iPhone FaceTime, the first thing my kid said, "Oh, do you ever look clear?" And I've never had a problem call.
Yeah, that's because of the new processor and because of the advanced camera.
Yeah,
And that's a big upgrade going from a 5S to
Yes.
that one.
yeah.
You've really moved up, so that's good. Yes?
Isn't there a new 4 out too?
No, there's not a new 4. That's it. The new 4-inch.
Okay.
It's called the
Yes.
SE.
SE.
So it's compatible with
edition.
the 5.
6 SE Special Edition.
That's it. It just looks like my old phone.
And they haven't
Except I
adapted.
could have gotten other colors, but I just
So I
decided
thought
not
it
to.
was the original 4 that they had.
No, it's the same size as the original 4.
The what?
It's the same size.
Oh, it is?
It's the same size as the 4 and the 5, but it's completely modernized on the
But
inside.
wasn't the 4 smaller?
Yes, yeah, the 4 was smaller than the
Yeah.
5,
Oh, was it?
lengthwise.
Lengthwise, okay. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Jim, I stand corrected. Thanks, Jim. Yes,
Dick Schreier, a question on messaging.
yes.
I'm not getting the sound that I have set up when a message comes through. Now, is that maybe because I have it to turn off in 5 minutes? I can keep it on all day long to hear this stuff? You know, my wife's, "You didn't get my message." And I look, well, it's there, but I never heard an audible.
Well, if you've got your phone on silence,
I don't. Oh, no, it's not on silent. It just goes to sleep after 5 minutes. Now, there's a setting, it's either 5 minutes or stays on all the time. Is that what I have to do?
I don't know, mine goes over.
I had that problem last week and I reset my phone and it fixed it.
Reset is, okay, she reset her phone. You know how to do the hard reset?
I did a hard reset. Didn't make any difference.
Didn't make any difference. Anybody else have any comments on that? Because I've never experienced that problem.
Would that be in the notification settings? Check that
Have
you
you
got
checked your notification
sound
settings?
turned on for us.
No.
You know, where it says alerts, badges, sounds, make sure sounds is on for messages. Mitch, is there a way, you talked earlier about backing up when your phone is connected to iTunes, you can say back up now to my computer. Is there any way to get it to back up now to the cloud? I've got one iPad.
Yes.
That says it's never been backed up to the cloud, but if you leave it plugged in and off, but it never backs up.
It should back up. Do you have it set up on iCloud?
I don't know, I thought it,
My wife had that same problem. We went to Apple, and her iPad was almost full, and that's why it would not back up, even though it was good enough.
yeah, that could be.
But it was very close. She had to delete a lot of stuff out of it, and it
Yeah.
worked fine.
That could be that you have to delete some stuff out of it. I have not, the only time I've experienced that problem was, and it wasn't me, it was actually my son. He had the free 5 gigabytes. Is it 5 gigabytes they give you for free? He had the 5 gigabytes and he was over his 5. He was approaching the maximum. So he said, hey, I get this message that this thing hasn't been backed up for 60 days. And I said, well, how much storage do you have? And he told me, and I said, well, you know, for $1 more, for $1 a month, you can get like 50 gigabytes or something. So it's gotten pretty cheap. And so he really went all out and spent another $1 a month. And that solved the problem. So but if all your other devices are backing up to the cloud, that might not be your issue. It might be the fact that there's so much on the device that it's not.
I don't know what the
quite
smallest
right.
iPad was, but she had it, it was so close to that, you know, as far as how much memory was in it.
See, that was.
She had it takes,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes,
One more comment. Don, at least for me, in settings, iCloud, and then down to backup, there's a, you can just hit backup now, and it will take, even though you're not plugged into the charger.
Oh, okay, thanks.
yeah, if you don't have at least, I think you have to have it, I think it'll back up now if you have over 50% battery life.
Okay, that could,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure about that, but I mean, it's so seamless. I mean, I plug my devices in every night and they just back up. I'm trying to think if there's anything else here that I want to quickly go over in terms of new apps that I've gotten that I really like. For movie buffs, I think, did I mention movie of the day? I think I might have.
Yes.
Okay. Movie, this is what it looks like. Oops, I gotta get back on here. It keeps on- This thing doesn't like me all the time.
Movie of the day.
Yeah, movie of the day. Okay, movie of the day is an app that looks like this. Movie of the day, and it's a free app from the App Store. So if you hit on it, every day you get your choice to buy a movie. So today's movie was this Just Right. And they'll give you a preview of the movie, and if you want to buy the movie, which I did buy this one, it was like, and that's why it's not showing, but it was like a $15 movie, and I think I paid $5 for it. That's typical, $4 or $5. If you go to, oh, here it is, here it was, yeah. It's $5, and it was previously $14.99. So if you go back, like this was the one yesterday, and I didn't buy that one. This was the one, Bonnie and I already had that one.
You can have movie night at your house.
So, yeah, I've got a gazillion movies, but not all of them are, about once every 4 or 5 days there'll be one on here, and I'll say, oh, I don't have that movie, and for $5 I'll go ahead and add it to my library. So that's a nice app. Oh, this is a really neat one, Garden. Okay, I'll give them a good rating. Okay, so I don't want to give a written review. Okay, this is the app, and you take this thing, and this thing works. We got a guy that I ride bikes with, and he was, we're riding bikes up near the Naples Grand, and he says, when we come back, he says, there's a bush here with some red flowers on it. He says, I've never seen it anywhere else in Naples. He says, I want to stop and take a picture of it so I can go home and look it up and see what it is. And I said, well, I got an app that my gardener told me about that was free, and I said, I haven't used it yet. So I said, let me pull it out. So we stopped at this bush with these flowers. I took a picture of the plant. Sure enough, it comes up and it says, is it this one? No. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? Yes. Gave me a full description of the plant.
what's the app for?
It's called Garden.
99 cents.
Oh, is it 99 cents? Okay, I thought it was free. It's worth it if you want. So if you go out and you can take a picture of a plant in your yard or somebody else's yard, and it'll usually give you 4 or 5 choices, and you can tell by the leaves and so on as to which one's which. There's another one I haven't used. It's called Pets, and again, you can use a photo, take a photo, whatever, and it'll tell you what kind of a pet it is. That was pretty good.
So they probably got one for fish too.
I didn't look for fish.
And what about if you take a picture of a strange woman you want to know something?
Instead of riding your bikes out there doing.
I didn't know any women were strange to you. Let's see, we got a few more minutes.
Is there one, is there one about birds by chance?
There might be. I would search for it, because there's
There
there's
probably
apps
is.
on everything.
There probably is.
Yes.
George,
there's a Cornell one on birds that perfect. It asks you 5 questions and almost always gives you the right bird.
Cornell?
It's a Cornell bird app. I don't remember the exact name.
Okay. If you search bird app in the App Store, I'm sure you'll get dozens of them. Yes?
Would you do just a slow-mo with your camera just to see how well it works?
Oh, sure. You want super slow-mo or you just want
Well,
slow-mo?
I see how just slow-mo or super slow-mo would be good too.
Okay, so
You
we'll
can
do
maybe give you a
a, this is sort of dark in here, but, okay. Yeah. Make some waves or something with your hands. There we go. Okay, now, we'll play that. Uh-oh.
That's slow.
Very slow. I think it kicked me off of his system again here. No, there it is. Okay, now I think I'm back again.
How about if you did it sideways or in horizontal?
No, it's not wanting to play. It's playing for me, but.
Yeah, it's playing.
Oh, it's on.
Yeah, real nice and waiting very slowly.
It's in the slow flow.
There it is. There it is. Those hands, yeah. Boy. As you guys get older, you get slower and slower.
Although I wonder if that is also maybe an iMovie and editing that you could use if there's a setting now. I haven't looked at that.
What?
For just turning something into slow motion. If
You
you're
can't,
editing.
I don't know if you can turn it into, but if you take it in slow motion, you can update it, upload it slow, and you can clip them. You can take the whole thing in slow-mo, and then you can bring it on down. Now, the one thing that's about slow-mo, though, that I determined, is if you're talking, and you're taking slow-mo, it's like, oh, there you go.
That's slow. Did you say something about iMovie?
Yeah, you're editing it.
You can do
At
it.
our age, we get it faster, not slow.
That's right.
That's something I need to.
And I don't,
It would be funny to just throw it in there.
well, I'll tell you what, if you do not have this app, I strongly recommend it. Scanner Pro. How many people have that? Okay. Fantastic app, right?
Absolutely. What's
Yeah.
the name?
Scanner Pro.
Scanner
Scanner Pro. It costs $5 or $6. It allows you to scan things. So if you want to, so if I want to do a scan of a document like this little thing right here, I just go like this, and you want to get your shadow off of it, but you go like that, and it'll come up, and it'll show me that, okay? Everybody can see it on it. So then you click on this right here and you label it. Well, this is my, this is my insurance policy, or this is my whatever it is. And then, when you're done labeling it, you say done, and you save it. But you can also then hit share. And guess where I share all my documents to? Dropbox. And if it were my insurance policy, I'd just pick out which car it's for, hit that car, like if it's a Progressive in policy, I'd hit that, and then right there. And so like when you get your insurance ID cards that you're supposed to keep in your glove box, and if you don't have the right one in there, they'll give you a ticket. I just take a picture of it, because in Florida they'll accept a picture of it. They'll accept a scan of it. So I just scan it and I just save it in here. So I put more and more things in here all the time.
Is the free picture the same?
Is there a free one too?
If I scan easy, back scan.
Yeah, the Scanner Pro is the one I use by Ridley. They just have so many great apps, and I've used this one forever. And they've enhanced this thing consistently over time. So I think we're out of time. Very much appreciate you coming, and I'll be back next month.